I'm just not going to have a man's baby just to have a man's baby. If a man wants me to have his baby, I have 2 requirements. You're going to get a tattoo of my face on your body because it's a body for a body. My body's going to change forever. Your body's going to change forever. And my push present is either a car or a house, preferably both, but I definitely want a tattoo of my face on the father of my child's body, preferably stomach, because my stomach is going to look different after a baby. So your stomach should look different too. I'm just not going to have a man's baby.
All right. So what's a push present?
It's when you push shoulders through your coochie and you risk your life to bring in another life, and you get
a present
gift. And a lot of people were saying the baby was the present. I don't agree with that. I think the baby is a lifelong responsibility, and it's also a blessing, but it's definitely not a present.
Okay. You think you risk your life pushing out a baby?
Yeah.
I mean, people can do this at home.
I plan to do it at home.
Yeah, it's not life-threatening.
But some people do.
Only for some people it's life-threatening.
Yeah, some people have.
But that's an exception, and it's not life-threatening. People do it all the time. It's not life-threatening.
Back in the days, women would lose their lives more before more modern medicine. More modern.
Yeah, I'm just curious, if you don't mind if I follow up on this. Wait, you say a push present. A present is usually something that you give to somebody else, right? You don't usually get yourself a present. So who is this present for?
The present is for me from my husband, who I'll have my baby by.
So your husband's giving you the gift of a child?
Well, we're making the child together, but I expect a gift after.
So I don't understand. Who's the present for?
The present's for me.
So you buy
and
yourself
it's a present
presents?
For himself as well, because, happy wife, happy
Would you
life.
consider it to be a really sad birthday party if you were the only one who showed up to it and you bought your own presents for your birthday party?
That just depends on the financial state I'm at and where I'm at the time, I think. I don't think a birthday alone
Can you give me like an example, any example you could possibly think of it's your birthday and you're the only one at a party for yourself and you bought the presents for your birthday and then you open your own presents that you bought for yourself. Can you give me an example of any case where that wouldn't be totally sad and pathetic?
Maybe wrapping it would be a little overboard, but I don't think buying yourself gifts for your own birthday is a terrible idea. I do it every year.
Yeah, but that's just buying yourself something. It's not a gift, right? Isn't kind of a gift definitionally a thing for somebody else? A present is usually something you get for somebody. I don't really think that in kind of the common use that when people say the word present, they mean for me. It usually means for you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm just wondering, who's the present? It's not for the father, right? The present's not for the dad, no. Right? It's for you?
Yes.
So you just use push present because it just sounds clever, maybe?
I didn't make up the term. I wouldn't be the first person requesting or receiving a push present.
Yeah, push presents go back
So it's basically what the husband buys the woman something for after birth.
Yeah.
Okay.
The push present, just so we have this, the push present, the present isn't the kid. The present is what the husband gives you as a present because you gave birth.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, I see. So the baby itself is not the gift.
Yeah, the baby's not the gift.
The baby is not a gift.
Okay, so you're getting a gift.
Sorry.
And you consider that you deserve the gift because you had the baby.
Yes.
Okay, so then this means that you are giving the baby to the man.
The idea would be to raise the child together.
Okay, but you just deserve a present?
Well, I sat and I did the pregnancy. I'm the only one that can go through that, so yeah, I would get the present.
Okay, I get it now. I think I understand.
Do you think
so
it's
you have
less
baby, you get a present because you have a baby.
You said maybe?
Yeah, you have baby, you get present because you have baby.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Is it less meaningful because you're asking for it, though?
No, I think it's a good idea to put your expectations on the table.
So, I want this when I give birth, and you're going to be like, yay!
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Exactly.
So what if it doesn't happen?
What are some things that a husband deserves a present for?
That's a good question. I haven't really thought about that, but I do love to give. I'm not just someone that receives, but I think presents could be given all the time. I don't think that there needs to be a special occasion necessarily. I think it'd be nice to see something when you're out. If it reminds you of someone, you get it for them.
And you want a house?
Yes.
Or a car, I think, right? Or a car.
Mm-hmm.
Can it be like a pre-owned Toyota Civic? Is that what they're called?
Can it be a tiny home?
Honda Civic. Oh my God. Jeez. Obviously not a car guy.
That wouldn't be my preferred.
Like 100K miles.
I don't think that would be the smartest car to put a baby in.
Okay, a Toyota Range Rover? Is that even a Toyota? God, what is wrong with me today?
Toyota 4Runner. You're thinking of 4Runner.
4Runner, yeah. Which one's the Range Rover? Is that a Jeep?
Range Rover is... No, the Range Rover is the brand.
It's its own brand?
Yeah.
It's kind of intertwined.
What's it called? Take back my man card, I guess? I don't know.
I think it was the 100,000 miles that scared me off. Not necessarily the car.
And then the tattoo, you want the man should get a tattoo of your face
Yeah.
on his belly,
Yeah.
preferably on the belly.
Yeah.
Like would you accept like arm?
Someone has a tattoo of my face on their arm. I'd want the stomach.
Somebody already has a tattoo of your face on their arm?
Yeah,
Really?
she didn't ask for that.
No.
Is like a fan or something?
No.
Like a guy you dated?
Mhm.
Was it the
That's crazy.
8-year guy?
Mhm.
He has he's got a tattoo on your arm?
He has a tattoo of my face on his arm.
Oh my God, I'm dyslexic today or something. He has a tattoo of your face on his arm.
Yeah.
How far into the relationship did he get that?
We were probably together already 7 years.
Now, did you ask for him to do that, or he just
No,
did it
it
on
was a
his own?
surprise.
Okay. Do you have a photo of it on your Instagram anywhere we can find it, or
I don't.
or is it private?
I don't think I have
Okay,
it.
that's fine. I was just curious. So tattoo of your face on the man's stomach.
I mean, this is assuming that the man I would end up with would already have tattoos. This is not like if I got with a guy that had no tattoos, I would think,
Okay,
you know,
sure. Body for body.
body for body.
Body for body. Okay. Just question, how many kids do you want to have?
I would like to adopt, but
The
maybe two of my
Bronexons
own and then
donated
adopt two.
$200.
Just one sec.
The best
Just
present
one sec.
to give is hawk tour. Patrice O'Neill said it best, men want to be alone but we don't want to be by ourselves.
Well put, yeah.
Ladies, remember Varg comes as a base model. You're not special.
Damn, okay, he's going off there. The best present, the Hawk 2?
You seen that video? Hawk
I've seen the video.
That's crazy.
That's really not...
What?
That doesn't really do it for the boys. I don't know why this like obsession with that. Like, is it that hard to like spit on just to spit? Anybody can
I
spit.
mean, everyone has their own requirements and their own requests.
Yeah, but it's just like, why is everyone going crazy? I think it's just funny, but it's like anybody can do that shit. Anyways, wait, so okay, you want to
I would like to
have kids, maybe adopt?
but I would like to have two of my own.
Two of your own. Okay, I see. If you guys end up having twins or like triplets, would he have to get 3 of your heads? Like
That's 3 push
Like an acid
presents.
trip.
That's
I
crazy.
think with that, if I had twins or triplets, hopefully not, but I'm fine with the one face, just I'm probably gonna have to get a nicer car, a nicer house.
Gotcha. One question going back. So that is a clip from your podcast. Your podcast is called what?
Something for That Ass podcast.
Can you explain what the title? Something for that ass.
It's just like, we have something for that ass. We have something for you.
Like you
like
do?
We have something to say, like something for that ass.
For that ass.
Your
Like,
ass,
is it a
basically.
specific ass?
No,
Like,
it's anyone's
It's
ass.
my ass.
It's anyone's.
your
It's the
ass.
viewer's ass.
It's the
Yeah.
viewer's ass.
I thought it was like something for that ass. Like, that's $1,000 for that ass.
More like something for anyone's ass that watches it.
Something. And so the content is something, and the ass is the viewer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So
Something
I got
for
a
that
quick
ass.
question for you. I wanted to follow up. I was thinking about this. I hadn't really heard this idea of a body for a body. Can I just get a point of clarification? Is the idea behind this that your body is in some way being destroyed, and therefore you want the other person to make a sacrifice as well with their body because you're making a sacrifice with your own? Is that kind of what the logic is here?
Yes.
Okay, so then if you have an abortion, what should happen to you?
If I have an abortion, what should happen to me?
Yeah, body for a body, right?
I'm a little confused on the question. What should happen to me if I were to get an abortion?
Yeah, body for a body.
Well, I wouldn't be going through the pregnancy, so.
Yeah, I know, but there was
So
another.
your body wouldn't be.
There was another person who was involved here, right? And you destroyed that person. So what should happen to you? Body for a body.
So you're saying if I were to get an abortion and they were to already had gotten the tattoo, or you're saying just. The reason I'm saying.
No, I'm saying that if you have an abortion, you're killing a baby. So if you kill a baby, right, and the baby has a body and you've destroyed the body, what should be the punishment for your body?
I don't know. I guess that's up to God. I don't really have an answer.
Up to God. Well, why can't it be up to man?
I mean, I
think it could be up to man too, right?
I haven't really thought about that.
Oh, you haven't thought about it? Well, I'm just saying, following the logic of you destroy body, therefore they must destroy body on your behalf. What if you destroy another body? I think in that case, wouldn't the logic follow that then something bad should happen to your body?
What do you think would be appropriate?
Well, I don't know. Penalty, maybe?
Penalty for abortion? I mean, that's your thoughts and your.
Well, no, I'm just saying logically, if it's just.
Well, it's not just.
So the reason you're saying get the tattoo is because that is some kind of sacrifice from your body that's in some way in your mind equalizing the sacrifice that your body makes. But what if the sacrifice is much worse than that? It's like almost a human sacrifice level because you've destroyed the entire body of the other individual. Shouldn't kind of the sacrifice on the other end be equal to that? Isn't that what the logic is here?
I think, now we're getting into abortion talk. I think if you're going to get an abortion, you think that's the right thing to do, then you're doing what you think would be best for the baby, right?
Yeah, what if it's at 9 months? What if they get an abortion at 9 months or 8 months? Then it's clearly a full body, right? Then it's clearly a full body.
Mm-hmm.
So shouldn't it be some kind of restitution body for body since you've now damaged a body? Isn't it this kind of like eye for an eye is what we're doing here?
I mean, partially, but it's also just like if I'm going to be the mother of your child, I think you should honor me in some way.
Yeah, but I mean, what if you're a mother who kills your child? What should the honor for you be then?
I really don't know how to answer that question.
Okay. Well, I was just curious because it seems like there's kind of a little embedded entailment there, right? That if you want another person to damage themselves because that in some way is a sacrifice which is equal to your own, then what if they make the ultimate sacrifice? In this case, they die because of your decision. Don't you think that the restitution then should be equal to what it is that you served out, since we're doing an eye for an eye here?
I don't personally think so, but I'm just more so, I believe that the person I'm going to end up with is going to be tatted and he'll do well for himself, so I don't think my requests and requirements are that crazy.
Okay.
Men can be kind of shaped into these behaviors that are damaging towards women, and I don't want to focus too much on the idea of coercion or overlooking soft nose and things like that, because I think more of the damage comes from things like lying and manipulating women into sex and using them for sex.
What would be an example of lying or manipulating a woman into sex? Like if a man who worked at McDonald's said he was a lawyer, would that be?
No, like giving the impression.
I mean, it would, but okay.
Sure, yeah, sure. Giving the impression that you're interested in having a relationship with somebody.
Can't women do that too?
Yeah, but I think it happens at a much higher frequency from the male side because there's more incentive to. If you tie your self-worth to how many women you have sex with, and you tie your self-worth to...
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Do you think...
So, I mean, that sounds like there's a cure, though. Like, immediately, it stands out to me that there's a cure. Now I understand what you're saying, at least. I understand your argument. You're saying, and I'll just kind of steel man this to make sure I get it right. You're saying, listen, if society is saying that men's self-worth is much higher based on, how many women they're having sex with, then they have an incentive to have sex with more women, thus lie to more women about wanting to have a long-term relationship in order to have sex with them, right?
Yeah, I would say that's part of it.
Okay, well then wouldn't the argument for this be female chastity? Wouldn't that literally cure that problem? Wouldn't female chastity literally cure that problem if women waited till they were married to have sex? Wouldn't that literally cure the problem?
I don't think necessarily, because part of the problem is the way that men view women, and that also needs
Yeah,
to be
okay, but if they view them as thing I want to have sex with, if they're just objectifying them, right? Thing I want to have sex with, and a woman goes, well, you can't have sex till we're married, how's that not the cure?
Maybe they just want to get married so that they can have sex with the person.
Yeah, but if that is the case, then wouldn't that be vastly more preferable? Because you're saying they're lying to women about the wanting to have a long-term relationship with them. I mean, marriage is certainly a long-term commitment, right? I can't think of a more long-term commitment than that.
Sure. I don't think it's necessarily preferable, though, because I think a lot of women are feeling like they are undervalued and like they are not being appreciated for who they are as a person and only being appreciated for what they have to offer sexually.
Well, it seems that if a man's willing to marry them, they seem to be appreciated for basically everything. But if you're getting, what do they say, right? It's the old saying, if you're getting the milk for free, right? If you're getting the milk for free, then why buy the cow, right? So the question becomes, if that is your argument, and it does, and I did steal man it, you said it was, male promiscuity, they have incentive to lie so they can have access to sex. Okay, that's a high status, right? Got it. Well, if that is the status, then it sounds like female chastity would essentially cure this issue. I mean, I don't see how it wouldn't.
I don't think it does, because I think part of the problem is that women want to be valued for more than that.
Yeah, but they would be being valued for more than that. They would be getting married to men, right? Those men would definitely value them, or they wouldn't be marrying them, right?
But if they're still just marrying them because they want that status of, or that access to a woman, I don't think.
Well, I'm sorry. Let's just assume for a second that like only 5% of them marry completely on the condition that that's the only way they can have sexual access. Wouldn't that still be completely superior in every way to modernity that you're talking about right now?
I don't think that a 5%, I don't think that would be inaccurate.
Oh, let's say it's 50%. Wouldn't that still be superior to the modernity that you're... How would it not?
Sorry, in your example or scenario, is it like a society where we're not allowed to get divorced? Or
it's just
like
modern society. Modern society where you're saying there's a plague of men who will lie to women in order to get sexual access. It's like, okay, but if they lie to the woman and say, hey, I love you, but I'm willing to marry you and take care of you for the rest of your life in order to get access to that sex, how is that still not superior to the idea that they could just hump you and dump you? I don't get that.
Like, I suppose you could say that's superior, but how do we get there? And why do you think it's just...
Yeah, but that's not really the question of how we get there. We first have to establish that has to be superior to what we now have.
I'm not committed to an answer on that.
You're not committed to an answer. So you think it would be inferior? That if men were marrying women for access to the sex, that would be an inferior system to what we have now? Or they just lie to them and then bang them and there's no consequences whatsoever?
I don't see why it would be superior.
Well, because they would be in this, because your issue is they're lying, right, so that they can have sex and there's no social repercussions, and they're lying about wanting a long-term relationship. But if they marry you for the sex, they're definitely committing to a long-term relationship.
Okay, yeah, I see your point with that.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. So then I guess...
So then, like, female chastity, which should really be our number one thing we're looking at here, right?
I think I still don't necessarily agree.
Oh, okay.
Because I think part of the problem is still the fact that women are feeling undervalued. And
yeah, I get that they may still, but you would agree it would be vastly superior, right?
I don't necessarily agree, because you marry somebody who just values you for sex, and then if that's the only thing and you're still not feeling valued.
Well, what do you think men value women for? Do you think what do you think that they're valuing them for? Like their credit cards? What do you think they value women? They value women because they want to have sex with them. They want them to have their children. That's the main value that women have to men. Like, What do you think the big value is women are bringing to the table absent sex? I actually want to know the answer to that question.
This is such a pointless
Love and
conversation.
friendship.
Love and friendship?
Yeah.
You can get friendship from men. Why do you need friendship from women?
It's friendship with all these extra benefits, sharing your whole life with somebody, having a child with them, merging worldviews.
Sex.
Huh?
Sex.
Chi-
But
chil- you said
so I
chil-
mean,
having children.
so instead of when you're saying friend, the distinction between you being a friend with a guy and you having a wife is your wife is your friend who you also have sex with. It sounds like the value here still seems to be the sex. Because you can have all those other conditionals with other people, but the sex seems to be the thing you are putting a value emphasis on.
I disagree, and I don't think sex should be the primary value because sex is kind of replaceable. I think the value that you get in a relationship is that merging of worldviews.
What do you bring to the table?
What do I bring to the table?
Yeah, in a relationship.
I think I bring a unique perspective, and I can help you live a more fulfilling life.
You think men date you because you bring them a unique perspective?
Yeah, I think I have given my partner a unique perspective, and I think
Okay.
I think I've helped him to start living a more fulfilling life, and I've led him to being a better person.
Doesn't every human being on planet Earth have a unique perspective?
No.
No, they're not. No.
No,
How
I
could
think-
two human beings not have unless you're
Okay.
saying all human beings are not unique?
Sure, I would say a lot of people have. You could say down to there's some differences between people, but I think there's a lot of overlap and shared worldviews.
So you want to be valued. So you're one of those. I want to be valued for more than just my sexuality, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
What do you
most
want to be
people
valued
do.
for?
What
What do you want to be valued for?
Yeah, I guess that's a good question that I don't have. I want to be valued for who I am as a person.
Okay, but why wouldn't you be valued for who you are as a person, and the highest value that the man has with you is still the sex? I don't get that. I still value you as a person. I think you're great. I think you're wonderful, this and that. But the not having sex thing, that's a deal breaker. That seems reasonable.
I think I would want to be. I don't think I would want sex to be at the top of that list.
Why?
What I'm valued for. Would you want a woman to value you most for the money that?
Would
you
I
provide?
want my woman to value having sex with me more than anything? Oh, it's terrible. Oh, no, what would I do? What would I ever do if a woman only valued as her top priority having sex with me? Oh, it's terrible. How would I ever get through the day? She didn't love my big brain and big mind, and she only valued sex as her highest priority I don't know how I could live.
I don't know. Maybe that shows that's how you value yourself is for what you have to offer
Wait, I
sexually.
have a question for you. Would you date a guy who lived with his parents?
Yes.
You would?
Yeah. My first boyfriend, he didn't live with his parents.
Yeah,
but-
you were you're 29. That was when you were 23.
Sure.
So you want to have kids one day?
Yeah.
Okay. So you'd be totally cool dating a guy who lived with his parents?
Well, my prerequisite for having kids, because I never wanted kids until my current partner, was that if we're going to have kids, I need to be able to be at home and raise the kids because I don't want them raised by the system.
So you want to be a stay-at-home mom?
I would try to work from home.
What kind of income? Don't you live in one of the highest cost of living areas in California? You said you're from the Bay?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it like...
We're outside of the Bay, so it's a little lower. But
Okay,
yeah.
well, in any case, California is still high cost of living. So, and you don't want to be working, so your partner has to work, correct?
Mhm, yeah.
Okay.
That is the
So-
requirement if we're to have kids. I don't think that's unreasonable because I think it's important
Right.
for a mom to raise.
So
a
then
child.
you look to a man to provide.
Sure.
Okay. Don't you think that in the same way you feel about and I actually think it's a bit of a straw man that men only care about sex, but let's just grant it. So the same way that you think men think that about women, you think that about men. You simply look at men as how they can provide for you.
I don't. My partner wants to have children, and that was the agreement that we had. It's like I'm okay with
You
having
wouldn't
a kid.
date him. You would not date him if he was not able to provide
If
for
he
you.
didn't want kids,
Let's say he did.
he does want kids, and that is the condition in
So
order
there's a
for us.
condition.
in order for us to have kids.
Right.
I wouldn't leave him if he decided, like, sorry, I can't do that.
What if he still wanted to have kids, but he couldn't provide?
I would say, sorry, I'm not having kids.
Okay. So if women are sex objects, then men are success objects.
I'm not valuing him on his success. It's the practicality reason for raising a child. Like, I don't want to be the kind of person that just has the school system raise
We've been
a child.
lingering on this for too long. Would you rather come across a random man or a random bear in the woods?
A bear.
Okay, so bear. I'd like to hear the reasons why, starting with you.
Okay, so first things first, bears act strictly off of instinct. So usually if they attack, they're probably threatened. Human beings, we have the ability to critically and logically think. We also tend to have a moral compass. So anything a human does is significantly worse. I am much more easily going to forgive a bear for mauling a human being than I will a man for hitting a woman.
So
Men are more dangerous because
Men are
we
more
have
dangerous than
we have a
bears?
moral compass. We know it's wrong, but people still do it.
Right, but this is assuming that in both instances, this is doing a comparison where the man attacks the woman and the bear attacks the woman.
Danger-wise?
This is assuming that in all scenarios, this woman is going to be attacked.
Again, I would forgive the bear a lot easier than I would forgive the human.
What does that have anything to do with making a risk assessment of which one is more likely to attack you? Because that is essentially what this question begs.
I guess, I don't know, you're in the forest.
Well, hold
so
on. Let me
they
get
can do
everybody's
anything.
justification before I give my take. So, why bear?
I don't know, you're in the forest and like
Okay.
people can behave. Is that's a setting or am I wrong?
So, I think,
I don't know.
yes, you are in the forest.
Okay.
But I'm confused.
Whatever.
What-
I'm assuming wouldn't see a bear in my house or anything like that. Like, I don't know, like if it's more secluded, then I would probably buy the bear more. I don't know. Does that?
I don't know. Well, so if we're going to make considerations, if we're making considerations for where we're going to see the bear, who are the type of men you're generally going to see in the forest? Dudes who are just going camping, kind of like want to ignore society. Like, they're kind of just chill guys
Not all
doing bro stuff. Like, if you're going to run across a guy in the forest, it's probably going to be a dude that's kind of just a normal guy. So if we're going to make those considerations for the bear, we should make those considerations for the guys.
Why the bear?
I will say.
For the past 2 months, I already had my weird, creepy, not good things with men, and I'd rather trust the bear right now over men.
Okay, so you had
Thank you.
bad personal experiences in your own life.
Yes.
Ergo, you'd rather be in a forest alone with a bear versus a man.
Yes.
Okay. All
Brian,
right.
I've actually changed my opinion on
Does that
this.
not?
What's your opinion?
Okay.
My opinion is I totally side with the bear now. Because
What?
I will tell you why.
All right, let's hear.
Okay. The bear is satisfied with a good meal. The woman gets to accurately play the victim. And the man has there's no ill will on his side. Nothing happened. He's not blamed for any of it.
I'd rather be food
Everyone
for the bear
wins.
than-
Everyone wins.
Okay, so
There's a flaw in your logic.
Okay.
I'd rather be
Tell me,
food
tell me.
for the
Hang
bear.
on, I'll tell you the flaw.
Okay.
The flaw is that after all of the bitching, whining, and screaming from this woman who was mauled by a bear due to her own stupidity,
Okay.
some man's going to have to go out there
Fair.
and put the bear down.
Fair, you're right, Andrew.
But the
Again.
bear already got me.
So I just spent the last 4 days up in Keene Canyon in Sequoia. And yes, I was hiking out with bears. And I was at a river and I went swimming and there was a bear 50 yards away. It was a mom with her cub. They left me alone. I left them alone. I went swimming in the river. I took a nap on a rock. I woke up and they were gone. But when you see a man on a trail, you go you completely ignore them and dodge them. on
Okay,
the
so
trail.
hold on. So let's just say you did that, right? Did the man chase you down and then attack you?
No, but you tend to.
Okay, but so you took an action, you took an action, but it doesn't mean that nothing happened.
Yeah.
But-
You ignored him like you
But
did
But
the
the
bear?
point is that you don't know what that person's thinking. right? When you sit
You don't
there
know
and
what
you
to-
pass a bear in the woods.
But the bear's
You don't know
more
what the bear's thinking.
predictable.
No, you pass a bear in the woods. The bear is predictable because it acts off of instinct. Humans can sit there and they can pass you, and then they can come behind you and like pop you in the head or whatever the fuck.
Well, then let me ask you a question, just to because you can predict bear behavior, and you're obviously very skilled at the prediction of bear behavior. If you were to, do you think, walk up to 50 random men and pat them on the head, or 50 random bears and pat them on the head, which one do you think would be more likely to fucking maul you to death?
The bear. That makes it predictable.
Hold on.
That's a completely
Question for
different
you.
situation. It's not in its natural habitat.
What do you mean? It's
But
Well,
still-
no,
but
you
it's
can do it in
still
their
a
natural
bear, and
habitat.
it's
You
still
walk right
predictable.
over and you just go and pat it on its fucking head.
I'm gonna dodge both the bear and the man.
The man's in his natural
My
habitat.
point is
when
that
you walk
human
over and
beings
pat
are
him
more
on the head.
dangerous than bears.
Okay,
You
so
didn't answer
let's
his
try this
question.
again.
You didn't answer his
You would
question.
agree that men are in their natural habitat. If you find one in a city or you find one in the country, they're in their natural habitat. And if you walked over and you were to pat just random men on the head versus random bears on the head, which one do you think would be more likely to viciously attack you and kill you?
Probably the bear, but that's why you.
Probably the bear.
That's why you don't be stupid.
Because you know
But also,
what
yes,
the
Yeah,
bear's
it would be pretty stupid to
Doesn't
take
that
a
kinda
gamble with a bear, wouldn't it?
Exactly.
You seem like you'd be far more comfortable patting random men. Touching random men without their permission seems to be well within your comfort level as opposed to touching random bears. right?
Comfortability and
You
predictability is
just- you
different,
don't
though.
bother a bear the way you bother men.
No,
But-
yeah, I get
What?
where you're going with this, but it's more about like I think you're trying to say they're just more predictable.
That's
like,
yes. I'm saying
I wouldn't
because
go
because
pat the
any
bear
animal
on the head 'cause I
acts
know
off
it
of
would kill me.
instinct. It's easy to predict their next move. Human beings, you can't predict their next move.
Not just men. I wouldn't even say that about just men, but
you
like
predict
like
the moves of a wild bear, really?
No, yeah, that's. I mean,
More
I'm an
likely
outdoorsman as
to.
well. I'm a hunter. I spend a lot of time outdoors. I got to push back on this a little bit.
so
like, bears,
really,
yeah.
they can manipulate
Well-
you into thinking that they might eat you and then they won't, or
Bears are very simple. Yeah, you're right. They are simple. It is either I'm going to kill you, I'm going to eliminate this new threat,
want
or
your
I'm going to
food,
go
or I'm
away. Those are the only two options. With a man, there are a million options,
So-
and
so
only a
you're-
few of them are bad. Most of them are like, hey, I'm going to say hi to you, or I'm going to ignore you.
That is-
Most of them, and you probably won't even see the guy.
that's absolutely fair, and I agree with that.
So
too,
there are
but for
far
the
less negative outcomes with the man than
far
there are
less
the bear.
negative, but far less negative, or are you gonna go for I know for sure more what the bear's gonna
Okay,
do?
yeah, I know for sure that the bear is either going to avoid me or murder me. I'm not willing to take that chance. I'm much more likely to take the chance with the guy because there are more options than ignore me or murder me.
That's how most serial killers get away
Yeah,
with shit.
I would take that gamble any day.
Torture you.
Fair enough. Fair
Generally speaking, that's probably not going to happen.
No,
But with a
fair
bear,
enough.
it is one of two options. And he just might be hungry. The bear, if it's hungry enough, it's like,
And the
hey, that
man
thing's
just
smaller than me.
might-
I'm going to kill it and eat it.
I think these answers come from
Bears
me
think that way.
personally, Like,
It is, am I hungry? They don't have too many thoughts in their head.
I have never
It's,
ran
are-
across an aggressive bear, and I've been around a lot of bears from the Appalachia to up north
Oh,
California to fucking
bullshit.
Alaska.
Been
If
around
you
a
wanna
lot of
understand
bears,
that
my
concept,
ass.
though,
Yeah,
it's
fucking
from a
right.
place-
Yeah, fucking right. What bears have you been around in the Appalachians? What bears?
The ones in-
What bears were you running into in the Appalachians?
There are a lot of bears in Tennessee.
What kind?
They're black bears.
How many bears?
And what
have you-
other kinds of bears are there?
How many bears have you come across?
Yeah, how many bears?
Literally
how many bears
dozens.
have you
Literally
I
dozens.
am in the woods a lot.
Okay, literally dozens. Like you crossed paths.
Yes. I literally have a selfie with me and a bear in the back.
Okay.
Look.
And then how many men have you walked past?
Too many.
Millions.
But okay, wait.
Wait, why do you
like,
say
we're
it? Why do you
taking
say it
this
like
to-
that?
we're-
Hold on. Let her answer.
Yes,
why do
I'm
you say it like that?
antisocial.
Oh, you're not anti-men?
No, I hate everybody equally.
Okay, so how many men do you think you've just walked past without incidents? Millions?
few.
Maybe not millions, hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands throughout the whole course of your life? Think of high school.
Yeah, but a bear has
college,
never hurt me.
At the mall, at the restaurant. Yes, perhaps I'm not doubting that a man or some men in your life have hurt you.
That's probably where that answer really comes
But
from.
let me ask you a question. How many hours of your life have you been in proximity to men as compared to proximity to bears? Like, would you say you've been in proximity to bears for less than an hour of your life?
No, I would say more than an hour.
It's probably on the
You're
order of
kicking it with-
magnitude of that.
I mean,
You
if
said
we're-
you said a couple dozen. So you're just kicking it with bears for like 30 minutes? You're just chilling?
Sometimes you just sit there and you watch the bear and you're just like, okay, cool.
If we're chalking it down to just like a comparison to a bear, then obviously, yeah, like this is kind of like ridiculous. But the answers that are coming from like a bear being more likely to us to be wanted to be interact with than a man is coming from other situations that are a little bit more deeper than.
My
I'm not
point
even
is
sure
that
what you're
human
saying.
beings are more dangerous than bears.
I'm just trying not to say things I'm not allowed to either at the same time. So.
Yeah. I'm not saying that human beings are less capable of inflicting harm. They are more capable of inflicting harm. But on average, men are not going to inflict harm unnecessarily compared to bears. Bears don't care. They're just going to do what they want to do regardless. There are less walls they have to go over. Morals, their humanity, like is this other person posing a threat? All of those walls have to be crossed by a man, but for a bear to want to maul you, it's like one or two. It's like,
But that's
do
why,
I feel
that's
like
why I
it?
say it's significantly easier to forgive a bear than it is.
Or it's not about
What does it
forgiveness.
have to do? It has nothing
it's
to do
like
with
it's likelihood of being harmed.
Well, yeah, I would still pick the bear. I would rather be mauled by a bear than hurt by a
Bro,
man.
this whole like it's all yo,
I'm actually okay with that.
it's
Just fine.
I don't know. Have you ever seen a
pick the bear.
woman's
I mean, who cares?
Have you ever seen a woman's reaction to a spider? And y'all gonna pick bear?
I love spiders.
Okay, what's up? What you got?
Can I add a little follow-up question to
Sure.
the bear talk, keeping
Sure.
on the subject of bear talk? And I want everyone to answer real quickly. You're walking through a forest, this is part 2 of the question. You're walking through a forest and you can see one of the 3 following things. What do you pick? A man, a bear, or a woman? Which one do you pick?
A man.
Me?
Still probably the bear.
Still a man.
No, it's solely just, I don't think there's any right or wrong answer. I'm just asking out of curiosity.
A woman? No, I don't know. Actually,
I would choose a man because a woman can't help me.
Yeah, I would trust in a man more than I would trust in a woman.
1,000%.
Okay.
Damn.
I'm a firm believer if you can't get out of the woods by yourself, you don't deserve to get out of the woods.
It's not really the question, but
Fair enough.
I mean,
They're
you could
talking
even.
about they're talking about a man helping them.
I mean,
No,
look, but
I
you
mean,
could
that's
even-
That's how I view it. Yeah, if I was in the woods, how I kind of view it is that.
Wait. Now, are you one of those people who would be able to get out of the woods yourself?
Yeah, I just spent the last 4 days in the f***ing woods.
All right, great. Can you tell me how you make a fire in the woods?
Yeah, you have a spark thing.
Yeah, no, you don't have anything.
thing.
You just have your bare hands. How would you make a fire?
The stick with the little.
What does that mean? I don't know what that
rub the
means.
stick-
Can you walk me through how you would make a fire in the woods.
You rub the sticks together, dude.
With the little bit of.
You rub 2 sticks together, and then what happens when you rub 2 sticks together?
Friction happens, and then it creates heat, and then heat creates fire.
Well, I mean, that's true, but you would have to combust something, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so why don't you walk me through, without being snarky, actually walk me through how you would start a fire in the woods
what
by
does
yourself?
having to start a fire have to do with anything?
It follows.
What does you, why, I don't understand. You're one of the guy, you're going to make it. You're the person who's going to make it out of these woods. You are a savage Shira broad. Now tell me how you make a fire in the woods when you don't have anything to make a fire with. Tell me.
Carry a lighter.
You don't have a lighter.
I don't know why you don't have a lighter, but I'm very prepared when I go in the woods.
Why don't you
So you
engage
can't
in
answer the
good
question?
faith?
I don't feel like answering this question.
You can't answer the question, right?
No, because I already answered it.
But
I
you
told
would be one of the ones who got out of the woods, right?
Yes. No, I would die in the
Yeah.
woods.
Wait, why don't you feel like answering the question?
I just answered the question. I
You
told
didn't answer- you just said-
friction creates heat, heat creates fire.
Yeah, but he was
Well,
looking
no,
for.
no. That's just an oversimplification. Walk me through how you would do it.
I'm good. But
Just take the L and say you
good.
don't know.
okay, fine. I don't know.
You don't. So okay. Do you actually don't know though?
I don't
Can you into the mic?
I do not feel like having this conversation right now.
Hold on, you're triggered over the making fire conversation?
I'm not
That's where you draw the
triggered.
line on making
Yes.
fire?
Yes, I draw the line at making fire. I will not make fire. I will die in the woods, cold and alone, happy.
Well, why don't you just engage in good faith? Like, I don't get it.
I mean, it's kind of funny to me that, I mean, you were so into the conversation 5 seconds ago, and then suddenly, I don't want to answer any questions. Very strange.
In fact, hold on, in your pre-show notes, you said, you're incorrect about the bear debate, and if it is still a topic of conversation when I come on the show, I would love to come on and tell you you're wrong, if you would have me again.
Yeah.
So you can't just shut down the conversation.
But this has nothing
Actually, I brought up the bear debate.
told you.
I brought up the bear debate precisely because
I already told you
it.
I prefer to pick the bear. And I said I'm a firm believer if you can't make it out alive by yourself, then you don't deserve to make it out alive.
But you also said you would be one of the ones who did.
Okay, then I won't. I'll die in the woods.
So you wouldn't be one of the ones who would make it out of the woods?
No, I won't.
But you're holding yourself out to be some like survivalist, and he's asking you a basic survival
I'm
question.
not a survivalist. I just hike in the woods for days at a time.
Okay. Okay, well, she doesn't want to answer the fire question. So there's not really anything we
You
can
take
do.
2 sticks and you rub them together.
Rub them
Yup.
together.
You're a man. You're not her man.
I didn't need the dog.
And when you show me a man, I mean, you know.
I don't even know what you just said.
I said, when you show me a man, then she can like shut up. I don't think, or like, I don't see one. So
Why would I take the advice of a woman who has a paper clip in her nose?
it's not a paper clip. So there you go.
What is it?
It's an industrial bar, so it's actually made to be
It's a
like
safety
this.
pin.
Thank you.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
my bad. What was I thinking?
Yeah, mind your business. How about
Yeah,
that?
I know. What was I thinking? I mean, you're
Mind
the
your
one who
business.
addressed me, not me who
I mean,
addressed
you're the
you.
one that,
But if I
you
fire
wanted
back,
people to
suddenly you're
address
upset.
you. You wanted
have
to
20
debate,
pieces
so,
of
like, go
steel in your
off.
face, and I'm supposed to take
Okay,
what
and it's
you
better
say
than looking like a
seriously?
big mouth
Yes.
character.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I mean, you're wearing a wig.
Andrew, doesn't matter what we look like.
I'm supposed to take what you say seriously.
Okay,
I
are
don't
you coming
think so.
after African tribes? Because I know a lot of African tribes that do have like a lot
Yeah,
of
name a
piercings.
single African tribe by name. One.
You do it. The fuck?
No, you do it.
Masai.
Wait, name a single African tribe.
Masai.
One.
Masai.
No. Let her answer. Name a single
Do
African
I
tribe.
have to name one?
One.
Just
For
'cause she
what
can't
reason?
prove
Why
it-
do I have to name something that's part of my
you
fucking
just said, I know
heritage?
tons of African
Why
tribes.
does
You can't name a single
why do I have
one.
to name something that's a part of my heritage? Why you're coming
Then
after
name one.
my heritage?
Then
Thank
tell
you.
me a single name of
Thank
an
you.
African
You sound
tribe.
stupid. You look as stupid as you sound, honestly.
Are you going to name a tribe?
I don't have to.
Because you can't. 'Cause you
No,
know
and I
single
don't
tribe.
have to.
Wait, imagine saying this is an intricate part
I
of my
mean, you act
heritage,
like the
and you
fact that
can't
like
name
even
a
fat
single
people with
tribe.
hair don't even actually exist in other fucking societies, and that they have
So
like.
great,
actual,
so just name one.
You don't
What are
have
they
to
called?
name it to know that it exists. You
Are
want
you
me to
gonna
go grab
name
my
a- are you
phone?
gonna
I can
name a
go grab
tribe?
my phone and tell you right now.
Yeah, oh, you'd have to look it up.
Do
It's so
you want
intricate
me
to your
to
heritage.
go
You have
grab
to
my
look it
phone
up.
and tell you right now? I am storing so much information in my head. It doesn't matter what if I remember
Oh, that's
it
great.
or not.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you know what a burrito is?
Of course, we know what a burrito is.
Yeah, great. You know that there's maybe a part of a cultural heritage that a burrito is a part of. What would that cultural heritage be? If you had
Okay,
to
and there's
guess?
other foods that exist that I can't even name,
Just
but it
answer
doesn't
my
matter
question.
that if I know whether they're
Yeah,
the
no,
name
I
of
know.
the
A burrito, though,
It
you would
doesn't matter.
associate with
It doesn't
what
matter,
heritage?
and it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
and it
I
doesn't
know.
matter.
So a burrito,
And it doesn't matter.
a
And it doesn't
burrito,
matter.
you would
And it
associate
doesn't
with
matter.
what
And
heritage?
it doesn't matter. And it doesn't
You're
matter.
just gonna spurt?
And it doesn't
You're
matter.
not gonna answer a single
And it doesn't
question?
matter because I don't have to.
Yeah, so
And I
so
don't
you can
have to because
associate
you
that a
already sound
burrito-
fucking stupid. You sound like because I can't name something that it doesn't
can't
exist.
name
But
a
it
single
exists.
tribe.
But it exists, and it doesn't matter if I.
Yeah, but it's so,
Why does
it's
it
so
matter?
important to
He
your
doesn't
heritage.
want
You
your
can't
answer
name
because he
one.
wants us to dick ride and sound f***ing stupid. He doesn't want you to
He
help
just,
me.
he just needs sex.
I don't think
So
she
it's
was
okay.
saying her piercings are because of her heritage. I think she was just saying that.
I didn't say that. She said this is an intricate part of my heritage because of the African tribes. I asked her to name one.
I
She
said
can't
that there's
name
a
one.
lot of African tribes that do
He's
have a lot
rambling.
of piercings.
Name one.
You are it doesn't matter if I have to
You
name
can't
one.
name one.
Did the Aztecs exist for you to say like, oh, that there's like pyramids out in Mexico? Like, shut the f*** up,
Who
dude.
built
You sound
those? Who built
stupid.
those?
Huh?
Who built the pyramids?
Which one?
Did I not just talk about that?
Why would I take you seriously?
Dude, like,
Why would
are
I
you
take a
slow?
person who said,
Sorry,
this
can you
is-
answer me
that
that
my
question?
teacher is so
If you want me to
important
answer
to
a
me.
question, how about answer me a question about how are you slow?
Ancient Egyptian, you want to get into aliens?
It's a wanker.
We'll talk about who really built the pyramids.
Like, an alien's right here, bitch. Like, come on.
You want to go?
I mean, it's just madness to me that this is so
I just think that
important
you
to you,
just
the
sound
cultural
stupid
heritage
because
that you don't
think
know
that
anything
because
about.
you can't
Nothing.
name something specifically that it doesn't exist.
Something specifically that what doesn't exist.
Oh my God, are you that slow? Or
I'm
what was
listening
the
to what you're
conversation
saying.
that we were having this whole entire time? What was I saying this whole entire time? I would
Well,
just like
what
to
you
know.
what you said was there's a cultural heritage.
And you
That's
asked
why
me
you
to
have
ask?
the face jewelry. Hang on, let me finish. That's why you have the face
Why should I
jewelry.
let
and
you
the-
finish, but you
let
didn't
me
let her
finish.
finish?
Let-
Sorry, what was
you
your
asked me a
name,
question.
girlie?
Do you not want
Libby.
the answer?
Libby, I'm so sorry about.
Oh, yeah, don't worry about it. That's why I didn't
Yeah,
engage.
don't worry about it.
Towards
Just cope
her.
together.
That's why I
cope
didn't
together.
You were
engage.
disruptive towards her, and now you're asking for the same respect. Is ridiculous.
Are you going to answer a single
That's
question?
ridiculous.
It's
Okay,
double-sided.
so I mean, you can keep that argument to yourself on trying to make people sound stupid, but at the end of the day, you
I
sound
need to try
fucking
hard.
stupid. The more that you're trying to say that it doesn't exist because I can't name a single like tribe or society or blah blah blah. I have seen the pictures. I know that they exist. It's just like like move on past it. We all like.
Yeah, so I just
we
listened to
can
what
say
you
that
had to
Drake.
say.
We know that Drake talked to fucking kids,
You just
but
gonna
like just because
filibuster?
we don't have like everything right here, and I can't tell you all the fucking kids that he was talking
Doesn't
to,
make it
doesn't
any
mean that
less
doesn't
true.
exist.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
anyway, so what you said was, you said that all of the face piercings in the wig were because
My wig had nothing to
of
do
your
with this, and
deep
now you're
connection.
delusional?
You're still not going to let me finish. You're not
No,
going to let me
I'm not
finish. Go
going to
ahead.
let you.
tell
You
me
didn't
when
let
you're ready.
Libby finish, and you didn't let a lot of people finish. So
I'm
why
waiting
should
for
I
you to finish. Let me know.
care? Please, I'll let you finish. Just explain to me why should I care.
Great. What you said was that all the face jewelry in the wig was based
I did not
specifically
include my wig, so go back.
It's
Try
not
it
a wig?
again. Thank
It's
you.
not a wig?
I
It's
didn't.
not?
I didn't include my wig. So you coming after my wig whenever I was talking about my piercings?
Oh, my
Try
bad.
it again.
So just your piercings. I'll
Yeah.
correct the record. Your piercings were due to an African heritage, which you had a deep connection to because of African tribes.
I said
but
it's
you
a
can't-
part of my heritage because am I not
But
African?
you can't name a single
Am I not
African
African
tribe.
just because I don't know?
Imagine my skepticism when you can't
Do you
name
know
a
the
single
story of
tribe, which
slavery?
is so important to you.
Are you
that you
stupid?
put
Do you know
20
the story of
pieces steel
slavery
in
and
your
how a
face.
lot of slaves don't even know their own f***ing tribe?
You're still spurging.
Do you
won't
know
even
the
let me
story
finish.
of slavery and how they don't know their own tribes? Like, answer
Let me
me
know when
that,
you're done
please.
I have to go.
Are you done spurging now so that I can
Are
at least
you
make
going to
sure?
answer the question? Because it sounds
use a
stupid to
different
me
word.
that you're going to try to tell me about how I don't know society, like
You
my
don't.
heritage and blah blah blah. Whenever
You
we all
don't
know,
know.
and it's basic common knowledge that black
Oh, yeah,
people
the
in
name
America
tribe.
who didn't come directly from
Name
Africa, who their
a
families were
tribe.
brought here, that we don't know our tribes and blah blah blah.
You
But
have to
I
know a
do
tribe?
know, in fact, that there are tribes
It's
out there.
important to you, but you don't know a single tribe. Got it.
Why are you acting like that information is so readily
Okay,
available?
like I'm
for
going
you
to listen to
go and find,
Nick
though?
from Big Mouth. Like, shut
It's
the fuck
not,
up.
wait, it's not readily
Ryan,
available.
if you're gonna say
African
something, you should
tribes are
say
not
something,
readily
because I'm not
available.
gonna
That's not what I'm
You sound fucking
saying. Like,
stupid.
you're taking it in that way and laughing like some weirdo, but you know that's not how I meant it.
Has it been 5 minutes yet?
Yeah, okay.
Like, why are
Okay,
you
shut up.
laughing like that?
It doesn't seem like it's very important to you.
Everybody, put your swords away for just a minute.
Yeah,
That was
but I'd
very
like to finish.
entertaining.
I'd like to actually finish without being
it's-
filibustered.
Wait,
right?
it's already
So
finished without
what she
filibuster?
said. What she said was this. Your exact words. See, she's still filibustering. What she said was the massive amount of face wear that I have
got
is
something.
due to my deep
something
cultural African connections to
good.
my tribes.
Am I wrong?
And then when I asked her
Okay.
what tribe, she can't name a single African tribe. Not
Okay,
one.
that's like asking me to name every woman, every woman to exist
Name a
just
woman
because.
right now.
Literally so.
All right, it's a favorite band.
Hold on.
Name your
Just
favorite
because I
song.
Listen up.
like you know,
One
like
sec,
just
guys.
Trolling you.
One sec. All right, guys, check this out. Check it out. Look, I got to move it on. I got to move it on. Listen, it was good. It was entertaining. A little heated exchange. It was good. That was the most. It was the most you said all night. I love it. It was great. Thank you. It was good. I'm glad we got to see a different side of you. And I personally think Desmond's at half chub right now. Just kidding. I'm kidding, Desmond. Oh, sorry. Was that cringe? Sorry. I don't know. Hide that super. Which one? I don't see it. Anyways, guys, we're just gonna hide that one, Nick.
You're a man. You're not her man.
I didn't need a dog.
And when you show me a man, I mean,
I don't even know what you just said.
I said, when you show me a man, then she can like up. I don't see one. So
why would I take the advice of a woman who has a paper clip in her nose?
It's not a paper clip, so there you go.
What is it?
It's an industrial bar, so it's actually made to be like this. Thank you.
Oh, I mean, my bad. What was I thinking?
Mind your business. How about that?
Yeah, I know. What was I thinking? I mean, you're the one who addressed me, not me who addressed
you're the
you.
one that,
but if I fire back, suddenly you're upset.
You
have 20 pieces of steel in your face, and I'm supposed to take what you say seriously?
Okay, and it's better than looking like a big mouth character.
Yeah, but
you're wearing a wig.
Andrew, doesn't matter what we look like.
I'm supposed to take what you say seriously.
Okay, are you coming after African tribes? Because I know a lot of African tribes that do have like a lot of piercings.
Name a single African tribe by name. One.
You do it.
No, you do it.
Masai.
Name a single African tribe.
Masai.
One.
Masai.
No. Let her answer. Name a single African tribe.
Do I have to name one?
One.
Just for what reason? Why do I have to name something that's part of my fucking
just said
heritage?
I know tons of African tribes.
Why do I have to name something that's a part of my heritage? Why you're coming after my heritage? Thank you.
A single name of an African tribe.
You sound stupid. You look as stupid as you sound, honestly.
Are you going to name a tribe?
I don't have to.
Because you can't.
No, and I don't have to.
Wait, imagine saying this is an intricate part of my heritage.
You act like the fact that like even fat people with hair don't even actually exist in other fucking societies, and that they have
So just name one.
You don't have to name it to know that it exists. You want me to go grab my phone? I can go grab my phone and tell you right now.
Yeah, you'd have to look it up. It's so intricate to your heritage.
You have to look it up. Do you want me to go grab my phone and tell you right now? I am storing so much information in my head, it doesn't matter if I remember it or not.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you know what a burrito is?
Of course we know what a burrito is.
Yeah, great. You know that there's maybe a part of a cultural heritage that a burrito is a part of. What would that cultural heritage be?
And there's other foods that exist that I can't even name, but it doesn't matter that if I know whether they're the name of
a burrito, though,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know. So a burrito,
and it doesn't matter.
A burrito, you would associate with what heritage?
And it doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter.
You're just going to spurt?
And it doesn't
You're
matter.
not going to answer a single question?
And it doesn't matter because I don't have to. And I don't have to because you already sound fucking stupid. You sound like because I can't name something that doesn't exist, but it exists. But it exists, and it doesn't matter if I.
Yeah, but it's so important to your heritage.
He doesn't want your answer because he wants us to dick ride and sound stupid. He doesn't want you to help me.
He just needs sex.
I don't think she was saying her piercings are because of her heritage. I think she was just saying that.
I didn't say that. She said this is an intricate part of my heritage because of the African tribes. I asked her to name one.
I said that there's a lot of African tribes that do have a lot of piercings.
Name one.
It doesn't matter if I have to name one. Did the Aztecs exist for you to say like, oh, that there's like pyramids out in Mexico? Like, shut the up.
Who built those? Who built those?
Huh?
Who built the pyramids?
Which one?
Did I not just talk about that?
Why would I take you seriously? Why would I take a person who said,
sorry, can you answer me that question? If you want me to answer a question, how about answer me a question about how are you slow?
Egyptian, you want to get into aliens?
It's a wanker.
We'll talk about who really built the pyramids.
Like, an alien's right here, bitch. Like, come on.
I mean, it's just madness to me that this is so important to you, the cultural heritage that you don't know anything about.
Because you can't name something specifically that it doesn't exist.
Something specifically that what doesn't exist?
Oh my God, are you that slow? Or
I'm listening to what you're saying.
What was the conversation that we were having this whole entire time? What was I saying this whole entire time? I would just like to know.
What you said was there's a cultural heritage.
And you
That's
asked
why
me
you
to
have the
ask?
face jewelry. Hang on, let me finish. That's why you have the face
Why should I
jewelry.
let you finish, but you didn't let her finish? Sorry, what was
You
your
asked me a
name,
question.
girlie?
Do you not want the answer?
Libby, I'm so sorry about.
Oh, yeah, don't worry about it. That's why I didn't
Don't worry about it. Just talk together.
That's why I didn't
You were disruptive towards her, and now you're asking for the same respect. Is ridiculous.
Are you going to answer a single
That's
question?
ridiculous. Okay, so I mean, you can keep that argument to yourself on trying to make people sound stupid, but at the end of the day, you sound fucking stupid. The more that you're trying to say that it doesn't exist because I can't name a single like tribe or society or blah blah blah. I have seen the pictures. I know that they exist. It's just like move on past it. We all like.
Yeah, so I just listened to what you had to say.
We know that Drake talked to kids, but like just because we don't have like everything right here, and I can't tell you all the fucking kids that he was talking to, doesn't mean that doesn't exist.
Yeah. So anyway, so what you said was you said that all of the face piercings in the wig were because
my wig had nothing to do with this, and now you're delusional.
You're still not going to let me finish. You're not going to let me finish.
No, I'm not going to let you. You didn't let Libby
ready.
finish, and you didn't let a lot of people finish. So
I'm
why
waiting
should
for
I
you to finish. Let me know.
care? Please, I'll let you finish. Just explain to me why should I care.
Great. What you said was that all the face jewelry in the wig was based.
I did not include my wig, so go back. Try it again. Thank you.
It's not a wig?
I didn't include my wig. So you coming after my wig whenever I was talking about my piercings?
Oh,
try it again.
So just your piercings. I'll correct the record. Your piercings were due to an African heritage, which you had a deep connection to because of African tribes.
I said it's a part of my heritage because am I not African?
But you can't name a single
Am I not
African tribe.
just because I don't know?
Imagine my skepticism when you can't name a single tribe. Do you know the story of slavery? Which is so important to you.
Are you stupid? Do you know the story of slavery and how a lot of slaves don't even know their own tribe?
You're still spurging.
Do you know the story of slavery and how they don't know their own tribes? Like, answer me that, please.
I have to go.
Are you done spurging now so that I can at least make
Are you going to answer the question?
No,
because it sounds stupid to me
word.
that you're going to try to tell me about how I don't know society, like my heritage and blah, 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 whenever we all know, and it's basic common knowledge that black people in America who didn't come directly from Africa, who their families were brought here, that we don't know our tribes and blah blah blah. But I do know in fact that there are tribes out there.
To you, but you don't know a single tribe. Got it.
Why are you acting like that information is so readily available?
Okay, like I'm going to listen to Nick from Big Mouth. Like shut the fuck up.
Wait, it's not readily available. African tribes are not readily available.
That's not what I'm saying. Like, you're taking it in that way and laughing like some weirdo, but you know that's not how I meant it.
Has it been 5 minutes yet?
Yeah, okay.
Like, okay, shut up.
Like that?
It doesn't seem like it's very important to you.
Everybody, put your swords away for just a minute.
Yeah, but I'd like to finish. I'd like to actually finish without being filibustered.
Wait, it's already finished with
what she said was this. Your exact words. See, she's still filibustering. What she said was the massive amount of face wear that I have is due to my deep cultural African connections to my tribes.
Am I wrong?
And then when I asked her what tribe, she can't name a single African tribe. Not one.
Okay, that's like asking me to name every woman, every woman to exist
Name
just
a woman
because
right now.
Literally so.
Favorite band? Name your
Just because I like you know,
One
like
sec,
just
guys.
Trolling you.
One sec. All right, guys, check this out. Check it out. Look, I got to move it on. Listen, it was good. It was entertaining. A little heated exchange. It was good. That was the most. It was the most you said all night. I love it. It was great. Thank you. It was good. I'm glad we got to see a different side of you. And I personally think Desmond's at half chub right now. Just kidding. I'm kidding, Desmond. Oh, sorry. Was that cringe? Sorry. I don't know. Hide that super. Which one? I don't see it. Anyways, guys, we're just gonna hide that one, Nick.
Okay, so it is other people's responsibility to make you feel emotionally safe.
I say when there is not full disclosure of the plan of what's going to be done to me psychologically, then that is the responsibility of the person who's manipulating me.
It's really funny that you say that, because this actually is just deterring responsibility to the second party, right? So you're saying
Yes, you guys are more powerful than I am as far as damaging me psychologically, because we live in a society that has normalized the manipulation of women and their vulnerability emotionally. So I believe that you partook in that same essentially tactic of getting from me what you wanted.
Yeah, so I'm going to just like grant a couple things, right? Thing one.
I have to go to the bathroom first, and then when I come back, you can share.
Okay.
How many shots did you guys have? You had one shot?
This is my third shot.
Maybe don't. Maybe the alcohol is not a good idea.
Well, if you guys were nice, I wouldn't need it.
If we were nice, she wouldn't need. We've been nice.
I think you guys are nice.
We've been nice.
You want passive aggressiveness? I would rather you just say exactly what you're
I was just about to tell you exactly what I thought, but then you had to pee.
I did.
We're gonna.
I've had a lot of children.
We will get in future episodes funnels onto the table for people to, so they don't have to get.
So yeah, I mean, I was just about to grant to you. Yeah, I don't care about how what I say makes a person emotionally feel if the purpose of the discussion is a disagreement. How your emotional state from there is totally irrelevant to me.
Do you know that that's a symptom?
Of what?
Psychopathy.
Psychopathy doesn't exist.
It does.
It doesn't.
It's the lack of empathy for another's
Nope.
feelings.
Okay, so you're a psychologist, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think that psychopathy is actually a medical psychological condition and that you can identify it in the DSM?
Yes, they can now brain scan you and tell if you have psychopathy.
Do you have your phone?
Yes.
Okay, can you pull up the DSM-5 and show me where it says anything about psychopathy?
I'm not talking about the DSM-5. I'm talking
Well,
about...
then how do you categorize what is a psychological condition?
You can get a brain scan and your gray matter would show up differently than somebody without psychopathy.
That, first of all, when you're talking about brain scans, that's really brand new tech. That's the same thing as when people say that you can do a brain scan to determine a gender. You really can't, because you have human
Correct.
variances in sexuality.
The gender is determined more by the hormonal makeup in the
brain
body
matter
system.
cannot determine if somebody is a psychopath, but even if it could, psychopathy in and of itself has not even been demonstrated to be harmful to society. Psychopathy in and of itself could be a boon to society. For instance, you may need people who have completely unfeeling dispositions for certain jobs which need doing.
I agree, because we are all tools, essentially, of the divine.
Well, I mean,
God.
sure,
You
yeah.
would, you, in your
Yeah, I would
ideology, you
say-
would call it God.
Yeah, I would say that we're all definitely in
I agree.
have a
there's
telos from our
where our
Creator.
Venn diagrams are crossing.
But
I believe we
need
are
to-
all tools.
But I need to ask, just because I don't care what your emotional state is when we're having a discussion about something we disagree on, I don't understand why that would even indicate psychopathy. It's very common for stoic men to not care about the emotional status of a person who refuses to adhere
It's
to
very
logic.
common of men to be aggressive. It doesn't mean it's right.
Yeah, but now you're conflating two different things. So I would agree.
Psychopathic individuals are abusive.
Yeah, but
Just
not all
because
abusive
it's
people are
been
psychopaths.
True. That's true. Some of them are narcissistic.
Yeah, but not all abusive people are narcissists.
Some of them are just trauma responding and they overreact.
Not all of them are doing that either. Yeah, abuse.
Name a type of
Abuse
abuse that
from you
somebody.
is so broad that encompasses everything. Encompasses emotional,
it's the degradation.
physical, psychological.
It's the degradation. It's the calculated degradation of another individual without remorse, feeling, or care. It's not a trauma response, in other words. Now, what you saw of me in the last show was me trauma responding. So I did hurt people's feelings, and I said things that were,
Oh, that seems.
you could say, you could say aggressive. But I really was. I have very complex traumas.
Mm-hmm.
I could spend
but isn't it
a lot of
awful-
time telling you
But
about
isn't
it.
it awful convenient to say when I do it, it's excused. When you do it, it's because you're a psychopath.
Well, to be honest with you, you're a predator. I'm not.
Well, you're not a predator.
No.
What makes me predatory and you not predatory?
I don't go out seeking to hurt people. You do.
Who do I go out to seek to hurt?
Me.
How did I seek to hurt you?
you are seeking to show the followers that I am basically not worth living. Not worth speaking, not worth breathing.
What are you talking about?
Not worth having an opinion. My opinion.
Well, if your opinion is bad, then yes, your opinion. So, look at
You are a very condescending person.
Try to juxtapose yourself. Put yourself in my shoes for a second, okay? Let us assume for a second that I had some knowledge. So
I was raised by your type.
Assume for a second. Well, they didn't raise you right, but assume for a second.
No, I just diverted to something else.
Okay, so anyway, back to this real quick. I was in the middle of talking. It's awful of you to cut me off while I'm speaking.
It is.
I'm speaking.
I'm just giving you back your own medicine.
I'm speaking.
I'm giving you back your own medicine. I don't respect you.
I'm speaking.
I don't respect you.
I'm speaking.
I don't respect your thought process.
So anyway.
I literally don't respect your thought process.
Who cares what you respect?
Who cares what you respect?
I mean, do you want to have
Why should I care about you if you don't give a shit about me? I don't give a shit about you.
You're just going to cut in while we're trying to talk?
Yes, if you don't give a shit about me, I'm going to show you what it feels like to have somebody not give a shit about you, but I'm not going to gaslight you and pretend like I give a shit. I'm just going to tell you I don't give a shit about your type.
So then there's the difference between
I don't give a shit about you. You're a piece of You're only here because your sex life sucks.
I actually do.
Do you want to go there?
Yeah, go there. You're only here because you have children.
Okay. I thought we weren't going to talk about that.
I thought, Bo, hang on. You can dish it out, but you can't take it.
I gave you explicit boundaries that you were not
supposed to cross. And I just broke your boundaries because I don't give a shit. Because I don't give a
You didn't give me boundaries. Get your wife on the phone.
What would you like to talk to her about?
I would like to ask her how the sex is.
Okay.
Wait, that's crazy. Come on, let's.
I really would.
Look, we got.
I was married to your type. We can call my ex-husband if you want. He might answer. You never know. You two would get along. You'd be besties. He's a real winner, by the way.
Look,
he probably is. He divorced you, right?
No, I divorced him.
Oh well, that actually makes more sense.
So look, if you want Andrew to respect the boundaries, you can't be slinging.
But here's the thing, Brian. He didn't give me boundaries. He didn't give me. I gave him boundaries. He did not say you can't do this. You can't do
said
that.
You're responsible for my emotional health.
We can put the no button in the middle, and you can use it too if you would like. Do you need boundaries too and consent?
Yes, put it there.
Do you need a safe word? It's no.
Put it there. So here's the boundary.
Now you feel safe.
You
can say no whenever you want.
Okay. When I hit the no, that means stop talking.
Okay. Agreed. Okay.
Do you think you can do that?
Can I show my ass on camera every time you say no?
No.
No.
Why?
Pass on that.
Because that would violate the terms of service.
What's the terms of service that I can't show ass?
show your ass on camera?
I never signed anything that said I couldn't.
So you're going to break the TOS?
What's the TOS?
Nick, just intro if you have to.
What is it?
It means
we're on YouTube and Twitch. You can't show.
You guys, I'm old. I don't know what these things are.
You know what YouTube is.
I don't know the rules.
Stop lying through
Do I seem like I follow rules?
Okay, but would you? You don't seem like you're even rational or coherent.
I'm
following
not
rules.
rational to mainstream society. I'm not.
so
I'm
listen-
a divergent.
Okay, so-
Obviously.
You can be divergent and be rational.
No, not
Yeah.
necessarily. No,
Yes.
not these days. No, you can't.
Yes, you
no,
can.
you literally can't.
Yeah, you literally can.
Do you like
Do you
Trump?
literally
Are
know
you
what the word
supporting
literally
Trump?
means?
Are
Because
you
it literally doesn't mean what
Are
you literally
you
think.
supporting Trump? I'm asking you a question.
Yes.
Look at you.
Of course.
Okay, look at. There's an area our Venn diagram intersects.
So what does that have to do with the price of tea in China?
Let's say.
Okay.
Let's just pretend.
Okay.
Trump was my dad.
Uh-huh.
Let's just pretend.
Yeah.
Would you give me a little more respect?
No.
None?
No. I would treat you exactly how you treat you. I usually match people's energy. So if they're being lunatic assholes, then I'm a lunatic asshole.
Same.
Yeah.
High five.
So just so you know, I don't want to touch you. Don't want to touch you. But here's the thing, all right? No, don't do it. Don't touch me. Don't.
How do you think men treat women who they think they are settling for? Do they treat them well, or do they tend to treat them poorly?
Poorly.
Yeah, poorly. Yeah.
Poorly.
Mm-hmm. Do you have an answer?
It's so tough because we're talking strictly based on looks, and it's relationships.
Yeah, there's more to it
so
than
much,
that.
You know, like if you're mid, my consideration. I mean, if we're solely looks, then that's fine.
Yeah, we're
but
still talking about that.
I don't know. I think they treat them similar to how they treat themselves.
Well, I mean, we have a woman here who said her treatment totally changed when she became more physically attractive. She used to weigh more. She now weighs less. The treatment has totally changed. And so, taking her anecdotal example here, I would say this equally applies to women.
Yeah.
Women treat men who they're more attracted to better than they treat men who they're less attracted to.
I think
Now-
that's just
I'm
a
not
subconscious
disagreeing.
thing.
Right. But if as a
even a
woman,
conscious
but let me ask you a question. If you think you're more attractive than you actually are, how are you going to treat the men who are actually in your league? You're going to just outright reject them. You're going to ignore them. Or if you do end up in a relationship with them, you're going to view it as settling. And invariably, you're not going to treat them very well. Not in all instances, of course. I'm not saying all women are inclined to treat people worse off, but it occurs to me that we do tend to treat people differently based on our sense of how attractive they are. If you settle for somebody, you might do less for them. You might not treat them as well.
Sure, that's fair.
I think a lot of it for girls too is like a lot of attractiveness. I know we're talking solely based off looks, but a lot of attractiveness is from personality. I've seen guys that I like know that before I get to know them, I can be like, they're not very cute, they're not that good looking, but once you get to know them and their personality, it can completely change. And I'm notoriously known to go for guys that the rest of my friends don't find very attractive, but that's solely because of their personality and how they
tall
hold
were they?
themselves.
That's all.
Maybe.
Right, though.
Or wait, are you asking or no?
Yeah, so were they still 6'3", but they weren't good looking, but their
No,
personality
not
was good?
necessarily. I mean,
I thought you only dated 6'1" and above.
my height and above, so like, yeah, almost 6'1". Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, height's a big thing, but I think that their personalities are more like the thing that gets them across for me. If a guy's funny and like holds himself with confidence and stuff, it goes
Right.
way further
Are
for me.
all men funny? And what percentage of men do you think are funny? And what percentage of men hold themselves with confidence or have charisma?
Probably pretty high amount, but I think there's a fine line between confidence and charisma and like ego.
Sure, these are all different things, but
Yeah.
I would say that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
well, I mean, I was just going to say, I agree that men can make up for deficiencies by having outstanding personality, humor, etc. They can make up for it. I still think some component of physical attractiveness needs to be there.
Yeah.
But yes, sure. If they can. But what if a guy doesn't have those things?
Doesn't have the physical traits?
No, he doesn't have the humor or the charisma or the personality.
It's probably a no guy. I find that when people don't hold themselves in confident ways, don't have the charisma, they become less attractive to me.
Okay.
Even if they're like a 10 out of 10, there's just something about them that will always be less attractive to me.
The way you think really matters.
Yeah.
There was a guy that I was talking to. He had an 8-pack, beautiful, but he was a liberal, and I was just like, I can't do it. Just the way that the things that he would say, I just couldn't do it.
You did the right thing.
I'm telling you, he was sexy. His biceps were insane, but he was just stupid.
Not big enough.
It really does matter. My first boyfriend, he actually was ugly. He was not attractive. People tell him all the time, how the hell were you able to get Kishwan? He says, my personality, and it's true.
Yeah.
He was a conservative?
No, I was like 17.
Oh.
He's in prison now. I didn't really choose the best guy the first time around.
Dodged a bullet.
So
Yeah,
I guess,
there you go. Yeah.
I mean, I guess going back to my point, so if women tend to have a delusional and inflated sense of self as it comes to their physical attractiveness, they'll rate themselves higher than they actually are. They rate men lower than what those men actually are. I mean, how is this just not a recipe for disaster where women will just be perpetually chasing after men who are out of their league and rejecting the men who are in their league? So, I mean, that's why I think this rating question is important. Frankly, I think most women are trying to date well above what their looks, prospects, and personalities warrant.
I say some women, not all.
I agree.
Yeah. I especially think the issue of women chasing men is rampant right now. I don't know if I entirely see the correlation between it
being because they rate themselves more highly and tend to avoid men who you say are in their league. But I definitely think that it's a problem when women demean themselves to the point of chasing a man, whether they recognize they're doing it or not.
Well, I think that the script has slowly been getting flipped with Gen Z. So the idea of egalitarianism, the movement towards we're just interchangeable widgets, which has become socialized in society, it seems to be rejected pretty heavily by a huge subset of Gen Z. A bunch of them embrace it, don't get me wrong, but a larger subset of them say no than you would ever imagine. And so they seem to look at this and go, if you really think we're equal and you really think that you're awesome, and you can pay for the dates and you can off. And that it seems to kind of reverse the script, right? Now the women kind of have to chase them. And it's like, we don't really want to get involved if this is going to be a lot of work and a pain in the ass and this type of thing. And there seems to be a much larger subset of that now than there was definitely for millennials.
Just one point of clarification, Gracie. When I say chasing, I don't mean that they're necessarily like doing the proactive things that men do to get women, although they are. But so when I say chasing, I just mean like the men that they want to be with. So the man could still be taking initiative because men will shoot their shots with women below their league. But the women will view this purely sexual interest and think that this is somehow equating to like long-term romantic interest. And so a really attractive guy might pursue a woman who's less good looking than him. Doesn't mean that she'll ever get commitment or anything like that. That's why women often complain about boys and the like, because there's just a differential there. And it does happen to men, but you typically don't hear men complaining about, well, I slept with her once, and then, I mean, look, there's some women who do this, but I slept with her once, I wanted more, but she didn't. Some women do this, but it's not a common complaint among men. And the differential is, so as a man, if we can sleep with a woman, there's a very high likelihood we can get her in a relationship. It's not clear to me if the reverse is the same. It's not clear to me if a woman, just because you can sleep with a guy, that you can, with certainty, get him into a relationship if that's your goal.
Doesn't that make sense though, based on what you just explained? So like a guy, did I hear this right? So a guy sleeps with a girl, and thinks he could get her in a relationship. Is that what it is? But then it's not the same.
Yeah, like as men, if we can sleep with you, if we want a relationship, there's a pretty good chance we can get that girl in a relationship.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's not clear to me if a girl sleeps with a guy that she can, in all instances, get the guy in a relationship.
I think that's fair.
It's true. Because here's one of the reasons. So in order for us men, in order for us to sleep with a girl, typically, from the girl's perspective, from the woman's perspective, we have to be at least attractive enough to be in a relationship with you. So if you have, and it goes sort of very opposite ways. So for you to sleep with a guy, even if it's casual, you'll typically want the guy to be, like, you'll go out of your way to find like a super attractive guy to do that. Yeah, it's a fly, cool. Whereas when it comes to women, when it comes to men, we'll sleep with a girl who, just on the basis of her looks alone, we just want to have sex, whatever, she'll never get commitment. She'll never get a relationship. We'll still sleep with her. Like, just on the basis of her looks. Like, we'll sleep with her, but based off of her looks, we would never be in a relationship with her. She'll never get commitment. She'll never get a relationship. Does that parse for you? Like,
yeah.
So for example, if a guy's trying to get laid, like he just wants quick sex, he'll lower his standards.
Sure.
Whereas women, if they want to just get sex, they'll actually typically, they're not going to lower their standards looks-wise. They're going to raise their standards looks-wise. They're going to be like, well, if I just want casual sex, I want it to be the hottest guy I can get it. Whereas for a relationship, they might recognize, well, I can't get that hot guy into a relationship because he just wants sex. So I have to be more realistic when it comes to the physical attractiveness of a long-term partner. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's fair. But I don't know that again, this isn't going to apply to every woman, but like, I feel like if I wanted sex, I would go for someone who I felt was in my league and or above, you know?
Yeah, so the most beautiful men on planet Earth, right?
For sure.
Tens, right?
Yeah. Well, listen, after discussing, I lowered my number, okay? So don't shit on me.
But I'm just saying, from the perspective of a woman who says, I'm a 10, they say, well, I'm going to go out and get a guy who's in my league. That's every guy who exists, right?
Sure. But I do think after hearing all this discussion, like, I think there is one thing to admitting or saying out loud that you're a 10 and then actually internalizing that and feeling that way. It seems like more women just ask the question, like myself, would say, yeah, I'm a 10, but then realistically in their everyday lives, I don't think they actually...
Neither do we. We think the exact same thing.
Well, no, not
so
that
we're saying the exact same thing, right? Is that, yeah, you're correct that most women will identify themselves at an outrageously high number, 8, 9, 10, something in this category.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that they're being honest. And when you start to reduce why they're not being honest, you start to recognize these kinds of patterns that it has more to do with how I feel, more to do with how I want to present, more to do with that than how they actually think they rate compared to other women.
Right. So then if that's the case, I don't know that everyone would delusionally go after the most attractive guy. Does that make sense?
Right, but that would make our point for us. It'd be saying, so if you weren't going after the most attractive guys, but you're going for whatever was in your league, then this idea that you were a 10 and amongst the most beautiful on planet Earth clearly can't be the case. Right. So that's the point, right?
No, and I think I got around to the point.
Yeah. But you did mention the patriarchy, so why don't we go into that? What is the patriarchy?
The system of beliefs held by men who are, overly in power, to basically just set their standard of what society should be. Mm-hmm. Based off their beliefs of,
Are they in power because they're men?
I mean, sure, probably.
Mm-hmm. And so what percentage of men are in power?
A lot. I don't know. That's a very specific question.
But I mean, do you think it might have more to do with like their class or status than the fact that they have a...
No, I think it usually starts with them having a... I think they will get ahead in life a lot easier if they're men.
Mm-hmm.
No. Men have it way hard. Men actually have to work to become something. We're just here. Like, to be quite honest with you, we could get into clubs without having to pay for shit. We could get bottle service without having to pay for anything.
But can we get paid the same as men?
We do. If we didn't, that'd be an issue.
What are you talking about? Women do not make as much as men.
If a woman cannot do the exact same amount of work as a man, you can't expect that woman to get paid the same. If a woman construction worker and a man construction worker, we're working right now together. The man is carrying 100 pounds of weight. The woman can only carry 50. Why the hell would that woman get paid the same?
Why? What about a man who's an executive and a woman who's an executive?
Is she putting in the same amount of work?
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real here. If that woman is an executive and let's say she gets pregnant, should she deserve the same amount of money as the man that's actually still going to be at work?
Besides, you're at the mercy of the firm's argument, which is, if it were true, that what you're saying is true, that women who are not in these construction jobs and this type of thing, but rather are in kind of comfy AC-related jobs like the men, and they're getting paid less than them, then why wouldn't a man create an entire firm of women and then destroy their competition because they're now paying their staff way less?
Yeah, why not?
Am I wrong that women get paid less than men? Because I don't think I am. I think that's pretty common knowledge.
Yeah, but if that is the case, right? So this is what I'm questioning is the basis for this case, right? if it were the case that that were true,
Which
then
it is.
if it is, then why doesn't a woman even or a man just hire a firm of these women and pay them less than the firm that are hiring men, because they would make a killing with an all-woman staff?
You tell me. I don't know. I'm not a dude. I'm not making that decision. If I hired a firm full of women, you bet I would pay them just as much as I'm not going to pay them less. That seems backwards.
But you would think a man would, right?
Potentially. I mean, I don't know who's been paying us less. I don't think it's women.
Well, then if it's men, then why wouldn't a man just have a firm of all women and pay them less if they get the same amount of work out of them?
I mean, that's a question for a dude. I can't answer that.
Why couldn't you answer that?
Why wouldn't a man have a firm of all women and pay them less? I don't know.
I mean, because then they would destroy the competition who's paying the men more, right?
Okay, so I mean, why don't we see that then, if that's the case?
Because it's not the case that men are making more in those positions than women are. If it was the case that you could pay women less to do the same job, then why wouldn't you just make a firm and pay all of them way less for the same job?
So you're talking about the wage gap, right? So why don't you tell us what your sense of the wage gap is? Because there's these numbers that get thrown around. Women make 77 cents on the dollar as compared to men. Is that what you're talking about when you say the wage gap?
Yeah.
So what is the number that you think it is?
It's around that.
Like 80 cents on the
Something
dollar?
like that,
Nick,
and then women of color make even less.
Yeah, Nick, we have something on that too. So two things, Nick. The pay scale website on the wage gap, and then there's also, so you just do Google pay scale, wage gap, and then also in the infographics folder there is the, hold on, there's the wage folder, and in it you mentioned women, you mentioned in women of color.
Mm-hmm.
So Nick, you're going to pull up it's in the wage gap folder, the Asian women one, but it's not number 2. It's the one in the middle with the straight lines. Do the Asian women first, then we'll do pay scale. Okay, so you mentioned women of color. Actually, Asian women out-earn white men. This is the median weekly earnings of full-time workers, white men versus Asian women. That's 2 minority categories.
In higher paying jobs is what you're saying.
No, across the board. Doing a comparison to comparison. So my understanding of how this is from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. They just take all the earnings of men, all the earnings of white men compared to all the earnings of Asian women. Now these are all full-time workers, mind you. Now the wage gap that you referenced earlier, that encompasses all the money that men bring in and all the money women bring in. So it could be making a comparison of a woman who has a part-time job as a barista, and part of that data is also comparing it to men who work on oil rigs who get hazard pay.
And then where are you guys pulling your stuff from?
Nick, you can pull up pay scale. Pay scale is a fairly, it's actually pretty left-leaning. It's a fairly reputable company. Can you scroll down, Nick? There should be like a circle chart. Scroll down. Okay. Can you scroll in on that one? You might even be able to right-click and I don't know if it's an image. The gender pay gap in 2024. So the uncontrolled gender pay gap, which is what you're talking about, women earn 83 cents for every $1 earned by men.
You're including like part-time and all that.
Well, this is where you're not controlling for anything. So it's all the money that women make, all the money that men make.
Okay.
But it's not factoring in for the fact that, for example, all men collectively work more hours than women. They're more likely to work overtime. They're more likely to relocate. They're more likely to work hazard pay, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Wait, pull it back up real quick. The controlled gender pay gap. So this measures median salary for men and women with the same job and qualifications.
All men and all women.
All men, well, it's same job, same qualifications.
Okay.
So if you actually control for each of these things and you start removing these variances like hours worked, different job field, different choices, it shrinks down to 99 cents.
It's still below.
Right, but it's still...
You make a penny less than a man? Man, that's rough. But let me ask you this, just out of curiosity. I always wondered this question. Even if it were true that men who owned firms of some type or another did hire women at a lesser wage than they hired men, who the cares? Why is that even a problem? If they're just like, I just don't want these women to make as much as the men that I hire, why is that actually a problem?
I mean, it's a moral problem.
What is the moral problem?
I mean, that dude's like a piece of shit.
Why? Why would it make him a piece of shit?
Because he doesn't value women as much as he values men.
He doesn't value their labor as much.
But if it's the same labor,
Even if it's the same labor, he just doesn't value it as much.
well, then I think that says something about how he values women.
Yeah, but how would it actually be immoral? Like, why would it be immoral, for instance, if you owned a business, you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why would it actually be immoral for you to be like, I just don't want to hire men at all. I just don't want to even hire them because I don't like their faces. Why would that even be actually immoral or problematic?
I think it's problematic because you're not considering different perspectives that can contribute to the work that you're doing.
But it's yours. Why do you need to consider other perspectives? Like, the other perspective, it's your shit, right? Like, if you found a business, right, and you built it up for 10 years and you're going to start hiring people, and you're like, I don't like women. I just don't like them. I don't like them, so I'm not going to hire any. I was thinking about this, and I was trying to figure out what's actually immoral about that.
I mean, I guess I just think it speaks to like the person's values, essentially, like that they don't.
John Smith donated $200.
Hey, John, thank you, man.
The reason these feminists and angry women are so upset is because they don't have a man to tell them to calm down and relax.
Are you gonna do it, John Smith?
Calm down. Calm down. Relax.
Oh my God.
Relax.
I think I just came.
What the
Oh my God.
But anyway.
What the?
Yeah, so I was just wondering if you could elucidate me why you would actually think that was immoral. I get that you wouldn't
because
like it.
you're saying I don't like women. I don't want like that's such a like I don't think that's like good moral standards to just like. It kind of relates to all the shit that we've been talking about with her and how she wants to hurt men and shit, right? Like, it doesn't feel so far away from that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not, but let us assume that a man goes, a woman's labor, right, it's worth as much as a man's. Insofar as the labor she actually does and the labor he's actually doing is about the same. But they just cause so many problems, right? They cause all sorts of issues. They complain a lot. They're always at the HR department because they got too flirty with a guy at work. They're just a pain in the fucking ass to deal with. They're just a pain in the ass. And if I have an all-male workforce, I don't have to deal with any of those fucking problems.
But you have to.
That seems like it's a really justified and reasoned reason.
Are you saying that all women are like that and that women are just causing problems in the workplace? Because I don't think that I've ever been like that in the workplace.
Most women aren't like that.
Okay.
But I'm going to assume that there's enough of them that are, that you're still gambling. And that if it's even 20%, I can understand the rationale and could not say it was immoral for a person to be like, yeah, I don't want to deal with all that. I literally just don't want to deal with it.
To not hire them.
Yeah, to just not hire them.
Yeah.
To
Like,
just
if,
be
like,
like,
I have my own business. I mean, I don't plan on hiring anybody. I like just working for myself. But I could see that if someone was like, oh, I just don't want to hire them, I don't think that that's an issue. But if it was like, oh, I'm going to hire them, they're doing the same work, but I'm paying them less because I think that they're doing more complaints. Like, I don't know. I think that, sorry, I lost my train of thought, but I just don't think that like all women are just inherently like gonna cause problems or like these complaints.
Totally
That's why I wanted to
completely
make
100%
sure.
agree.
Yeah.
But let's say it's 10%, which is a lot. That's a lot. So
Can you
that's
just fire the one
like,
who is?
That's like 1 in 10 women that you hire. Well, but the problem's already caused, right? The issue's already there. And you're like, in this factory, right, I can have a guy put the hot dogs on the little pallet and then it goes up, or I can have a woman do it. They do it about as fast, they do about as much work, but I never have to deal with the,
Do you think there's a little bit of inherent sexism though in that? Like, I think there's like a little bit of inherent sexism in your words.
My question is not whether or not it's sexist.
Okay.
My question would be, who cares if it is? Why would that be a problem to be sexist under those circumstances?
I just don't
So in
understand
other words, sexism itself, I'm not sure is immoral in and of itself if it's indicating a behavior that you're trying to avoid. So for instance, wouldn't it be sexist?
Then?
Well, I'll explain. Wouldn't it be sexist, for instance, for you at night to walk across the street if a group of men are moving towards you?
Oh my God. Yes, because I would not change what I was doing if I saw a group of women. If I saw a group of men, I would be a million times more likely that I'm going across
So are
the
you
street.
sexist?
I think it's just.
I mean,
Hang on. Are you
I-
sexist?
Well, for my own protection, in that case, I would say yes.
For your own protection, in that case,
Yeah.
yes, I will be sexist. Aren't we saying the exact same thing?
Although mine could be life or death, yours
Hang
is
on.
not a life or death. Are
Wait,
those
wait.
different?
Or, right? It could be the life and death of your business, and yeah, that's basically to the
is your
financial
livelihood, your family,
ruinations, your
right.
life, family, everything else. I agree that maybe the stakes are slightly higher from the physical aspect, but the principle's the same. I'm sexist towards this group because even though most people in this group aren't going to do this, enough of them will that I feel like crossing the street, probably a good idea. And do you think men would blame you for doing that? No, they're like, go across the street. We know that there's predatory men. Yeah.
Right.
So why would men get blamed for not wanting to hire women? That's my thing. That's why I'm like, is it immoral?
I have a question. You said
Yeah.
men do you're saying that, what do you say, 10 or 5% of women cause problems in the workplace?
Well,
Or,
we're just
there's a risk of
we're
it,
just assuming it for
Would you
like the
not-
sake of the hypothetical.
Would you not say the same thing about men?
No.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. If
What
you have
about
an
the men
all,
that can't keep it in their pants
you-
at work and
yeah.
jealousy,
But are you, hang on,
competitiveness?
but are you going to have that problem if you have an all male workforce?
But you're saying
No, hang on.
But what if
Hang
it's
on.
an all-woman workforce?
Yeah, but if it's an all woman workforce, then you have catty, backstabbing, and all
Same
sorts
with
of
men.
other
Do
issues.
you not have You don't have the, oh, my dick is bigger
Listen.
than yours, like I sell more than
Do
you
you,
are.
then let's test this, okay? Do you think that at all female private schools versus all male private schools, there's more complaints from the students who are men or more complaints from the students who are girls?
I just
If you had to guess.
probably the girls.
Why hang on? Well, wait. Why do you think that?
I think that girls are also just more vocal about it, though, their complaints. than men
So
are.
then they're going to
Men
cause
just
more.
fight each
So
other.
hang
Yeah,
on.
exactly, men
So
fight
wait a
each
second.
other.
So if I have a workforce of men who have complaints but shut their mouths about them versus a workforce of women who have complaints and don't, which one would I want to hire?
But I think the all-women workforce and all-men workforce have equal amount of problems. They're just different.
Yeah, no. If you're saying that one of them's complaining constantly and the other one's not complaining constantly, that's already a huge problem.
Women necessarily complain in the workforce. I think there's some level of professionality that women have when it comes to working that they're just not going to be sitting there complaining 24/7.
Really? Well, let me ask you a
A
question.
competent woman, yes.
Let me ask you a question. And give me
Yeah.
your honest
Yeah.
answer. Okay? Let's assume you had two different offices that you could choose from. One office employed 300 women. The other office employed 299 men and you. Okay? 299 men plus you. Which office would you prefer to work at?
Which one's better? Or are you saying they're equal?
They're equal. They give you the same pay, right?
I don't think it really matters. I mean, at that
Yeah.
point, it would be
Which-
which one I would be happier with.
Yeah, which one do you
people
think you'd
I
be
like
happier with?
more. Depends on who the boss is. How like
The
does
boss
it-
is a man in one.
In both cases,
No,
or-
in the other one it's a woman.
I don't really think there's a difference. to
No,
me.
you wouldn't care?
I wouldn't care
There
at
would be
all,
no
no.
preference?
I mean, maybe if like the male one, because I'd feel like, oh, I'm kind of special, but like that's it, because I'm the only woman that was hired. Like but like.
And you don't think
besides
that would have anything to do with the fact that there would be way less catty bullshit, backstabbing, bitching, whining, complaining, telling you all about how such and such is a mean
Well, I
bitch
think
the second she walks out of the room to
I
you,
think you're
and you have drama clicks all over the place?
I don't disagree with that. What I'm saying though is men have equal issues.
No.
Just in different
Here's
ways.
what happens on
Well,
a
if you're
construction-
one woman
here's what
with a bunch of
happens-
men, like
I would
you're
feel
gonna-
way more
Yeah, I
comfortable
would
with a
feel
bunch
more
of women.
safe.
I
I
would
would
feel
feel
more
more
connected
they're
to
gonna
them.
make
I
us
would
feel
work
more
better.
bad at
I
you.
would be
Here's
more
what happens-
motivated.
Here's what happens on a construction site, right? Or something like this. They're all fucking exhausted from working their asses off, and they don't have time to whine and complain and click and do all that shit. They just don't. And inside of office spaces, sales spaces, things like that, yeah, there's a bit of that for men. But to say it's anywhere on par like it is for women, you talk to women who are in these sales jobs, and they're like, oh my God, these bitches are awful. They're backstabbers, they're connivers, they click up. If you're not part of the clique, they're just horrible, insufferable.
I think that's like putting a very like big stigma on women. I don't think, especially in
It
a
is putting a
workforce,
very big stigma on, but the question is whether or not the stigma is deserved.
I think no. I think especially that's like one thing that I said, like I would say I disagree with the podcast, that the women that are selected to usually be on this podcast are somewhat kind of like that and represent a different kind of like the more problematic side of women, which I agree a large majority of women can be
Have you
problematic.
ever talked to a hairstylist before?
I mean, yes.
Well, have they ever told you what it's like to work in the beauty industry?
I got my hair done 3 days ago. She was talking to me about how all the sororities girls come in and they talk shit on each other, and she just hears it
All day.
all day.
Every day.
I'm not disagreeing with that at all.
but that's the thing, is that's why the stigma exists. The stigma exists specifically because of the application. So what I'm saying to you is, if she's willing to cross the street based on her sexism, there's this low percentage of men who are actually predatory. In fact, almost every man you walk by in the middle of the night is not going to do anything to you. Do I blame you for crossing the street, though? Not really. Not really, because I can understand, I can rationalize in my brain why a woman would want to do that. And I'd recommend to my wife to do it. She's walking down the street in the middle of the night under some circumstance, cross the street.
Do you have a wife?
Totally rational. Yes, I have a wife. Totally rational to me, okay? But it's equally rational to me then to say, okay, if I had a firm, right, and there was some inbuilt sexism based around the stigma, would it be rational for me to only want to hire men? I think it's rational to say I only would want to hire men. I don't think it's immoral that a person would move down that thought pattern of I'll only hire X based on social stigmas, which can cause serious problems to their business for their own protection. That's all I'm saying.